Reaction tackle braided line. It has kind of taken over the braided line industry in the past couple years and has actually grown to the #1 selling braided line in America. And its claim to fame is high quality at a low price. But is that really true, and is it really worth it? Let's get into it. So, I'm going to break this review down into a few parts, starting with just my own personal opinion and experience, and then I'll go into the more actual numbers like the line diameter, the price, the reviews, and other things like that. So, starting with just my personal opinion, I've been using the Reaction Tackle Braid for about 6 months now, 5 or 6 months. And in my opinion, I love it. For years and years, I used Power Pro. That's kind of the industry standard braided line. I even have some old spools that still have Power Pro on them, like this one. I got an old spool here. That's what I used for years. That's kind of the industry standard. And when comparing it to Power Pro, I honestly cannot tell a difference. I've got a bunch of different spools. There's just 2 of them here. This is a 50-pound test. This is a 20-pound test. This is what I use for a lot of my saltwater stuff. But then I also have a 10 and 12-pound test for my finesse fishing. And again, I really just can't tell a difference. I'm not going to say it's better than the Power Pro or better than these other braids on the market. But from my experience, it really does feel the exact same, performs the exact same. And since I started using it 5 or 6 months ago, it's all I've bought since then. It's the same quality in my opinion, but at a much lower price. So why would I really buy anything else? Now, getting into that price and actually going over some of those numbers, the price is obviously extremely low compared to those other ones. As you can see here, I'm comparing it to the Power Pro and a Seaguar. Seaguar is very popular on the tournament, the pro circuit. But as you can see, the Reaction Tackle, I mean, it's less than half the price of that Power Pro, and then it's less than a third of the price of the Seaguar Smackdown Braid for the same pound test, the same yardage. So you just can't really beat that price. As I understand it, they're able to bring down the price so much because they sell directly to consumer. You can only buy it from their Amazon shop or their website. You can't buy from Tackle Warehouse or Fish USA or any retail stores. So they cut out the middleman, and that seems to drop the prices drastically. That's just how I understand it. And yeah, the price, I mean, I can just buy spools in bulk. This was 1,000 yards, and it was like $30 or something like that. So the price is just about unbeatable. And the quality, like I said, I really can't notice a difference. So at the same quality, the price is much lower. Now, getting into line diameter. Line diameter is huge with braid. You want it to be as thin as possible. So whenever you're buying a new braid, you want to take a look at what the line diameter says just to make sure you're not getting a super thick line that's low quality. And when you look at the line quality, or the line diameter, I mean, as you can see, they're pretty much the same. At the lower pound tests, it's actually even a tiny bit thinner, and then once you get up to the 50 or 60 pound, it does start to get a little bit thicker than those other braids. So if you're a 65-pound test guy, maybe it's worth it to go with those other Power Pros or Seagars, the more premium ones. But from my experience, again, I can't really notice a difference. I run the 50 and below is pretty much the same as you can see on the diagram or on the chart. So diameter is really not an issue at all. It's pretty much equal to that of the other competitors. Now, getting into the reviews. It has a ton of reviews. It's the #1 selling line on the market, like I said, mostly from Amazon, but they sell a lot on their own website as well. And as you can see, the reviews are very good. 4.5 stars on Amazon, and then I guess that's 5 stars on their website. And they have tons, thousands and thousands of reviews. So if you don't trust my opinion, people seem to like it. I guess reviews don't always tell the whole story, but people seem to like it. The reviews are definitely very high. And then lastly, getting into color. This will be kind of a two-parter. The color, it doesn't matter that much, to be honest. They say it's no fade. That's the big thing. They say the color won't fade like other braids on the market. That's not exactly true. It will fade eventually, just like any other braid. But I definitely have noticed it lasts a lot longer. Now, over the years, I've gotten used to taking a Sharpie and coloring my faded line, so it's not really a deal breaker for me, but it definitely does last a lot longer, which is pretty convenient. And then the second part of the color is color options, like how many different colors you can get. They have a ton of different colors. As you can see, I mean, they have pretty much every color you could want. They have bright colors, dark, camos, pretty much everything. Some guys care about color, some don't. If you just want a green braid, they have a green braid, so it's definitely not an issue. But then if you want a high-vis line to either help you detect those little bites on a finesse setup, or just because it looks cool, like I have the pink with my saltwater, I pretty much run the high-vis, cool-looking line whenever I have a long leader. I just think it looks cool, to be honest, and it can help you detect bites a little bit better. So they have the color options available if you need. Most other companies actually don't really have that many options. I know Beyond Braid has a lot of color options, but most of the more Power Pro, the kind of like tournament circuit lines, is really just green or white. Is really all they have. So the different color options are definitely convenient. Now, if you do want to buy some, if you're interested, I'll put some links in the description. I'll have one Amazon link. Amazon's super convenient to order, as you know. And then the other link I'll have to their actual website. If you use that one, you'll get 10% off. So if you're buying in bulk, buying a bunch of different spools, you might want to go with the 10% off. Whichever one you want, though, doesn't really matter. And yeah, in my opinion, reaction tackle, it's really good. I cannot notice a difference. Again, I'm not going to say it's better than other braids on the market, but from my experience, it's not any worse either, and you really cannot beat that price. So I recommend Braid or reaction tackle Braid to pretty much everyone I know. It's all I ever buy anymore, so definitely a big fan.